Quick disclaimer, this is an AI voice, which is not going to be perfect. There is a transcript in the description as well as subtitles for you to read along with. Socialism is defined by its opposition to capitalism. It aims to provide a clear alternative that is more humane and based on collectivism, not individualism, cooperation, not competition, and social equality, not inequality. There is a wide variety of traditions within socialism with the goal of abolishing or minimizing class division. There are many ideas and principles that shape socialism, including collectivism, common humanity, equality, social class, and workers' control. Collectivism is the idea that collective human effort has more value to the economy and society than the effort of individuals. Based on the idea of collectivism, the socialist view on human nature is that individuals are inherently cooperative and realize their potential through collective action and shared goals. Based on the idea of collectivism, the socialist view on the economy is that it should be structured around shared ownership and collective management to ensure equal distribution and prevent exploitation. Based on the idea of collectivism, the socialist view on society is that it should be organized to enable unity, social responsibility, and common welfare, with community interests placed above individual ambitions. Based on the idea of collectivism, the socialist view on the state is that it should actively intervene to promote collective ownership, social equality, and the common good by removing class structures and redistributing resources. Common humanity is the belief that humans are social beings who are naturally cooperative, social, and rational, with individual identity and behavior shaped by the social context they exist in. Based on the idea of common humanity, the socialist view on human nature is that individuals are inherently cooperative and capable of solidarity, with their behavior shaped by the social conditions they experience. Based on the idea of common humanity, the socialist view on the economy is that it should be organized around collective ownership and cooperation to meet the needs of all, reflecting the connection of people within society. Based on the idea of common humanity, the socialist view on society is that it should be built on principles of equality and mutual support, acknowledging that individual fulfillment is linked to the well-being of the community. Based on the idea of common humanity, the socialist view on the state is that it should actively ensure social unity and collective welfare, ensuring conditions that enable everyone to thrive equally. Equality is the idea that wealth and power should be redistributed to ensure fairness and justice, and all individuals have equal worth and potential. Based on the idea of equality, the socialist view on human nature is that individuals are inherently cooperative and thrive where there is social and economic justice. Based on the idea of equality, the socialist view on the economy is that wealth and resources should be equally distributed to remove exploitation and ensure that all individuals have equal access to the resources. Based on the idea of equality, the socialist view on society is that it should be organized to promote unity, collective responsibility, and the common good, recognizing that true freedom comes from social equality. Based on the idea of equality, the socialist view on the state is that it should remove class structures and creating a fair society by redistributing wealth and ensuring equal opportunities for all individuals. Social class is the idea that people within society are divided into groups that share the same social and economic status. Based on the idea of social class, the socialist view on human nature is that individuals are shaped by their social and economic conditions, and their potential is prevented by the class structure they live in. Based on the idea of social class, the socialist view on the economy is that it is dominated by class divisions, where the ruling class exploits the working class, which means that the economy needs to be restructured to ensure a fair distribution of resources. Based on the idea of social class, the socialist view on society is that it is divided by inequalities from class differences, which must be removed to achieve social cohesion and justice. Based on the idea of social class, the socialist view on the state is that it is used by the ruling class to maintain its dominance and should be reformed or replaced to represent the interests of all classes, especially the working class. Workers' control is the idea that workers should have democratic control over the economy and the state, ensuring decision-making power over production and resources, which is achieved through mechanisms such as cooperatives, trade unions, and active involvement in decision-making. Based on the idea of workers' control, the socialist view on human nature is that individuals are empowered and fulfill their potential when they participate in the decisions that affect their work and lives. Based on the idea of workers' control, the socialist view on the economy is that it should be democratically managed by workers, allowing them to have a say in how resources are allocated and production is organized to remove exploitation. Based on the idea of workers' control, the socialist view on society is that it should be structured to allow collective decision-making and ensure that all members have a voice in shaping social and economic policies. Based on the idea of workers' control, the socialist view on the state is that it should support democratic control by workers over economic and political institutions, promoting self-management and the equal distribution of power. There are three strands within socialism, each with different views and tensions. These strands include revolutionary socialism, social democracy, and third-way socialism. Revolutionary socialism is the belief that socialism can only be achieved by overthrowing the existing political and social structures, often involving radical and fundamental change led by the working class. The revolutionary socialist view on human nature is that individuals are oppressed by capitalist structures, and true human potential can only be realized through collective action to overthrow these systems. The revolutionary socialist view on the economy is that it must be entirely restructured by removing capitalist means of production and replacing them with a system based on communal ownership and the equal distribution of resources. The revolutionary socialist view on society is that it must be transformed to remove class divisions and create a community based on solidarity, cooperation, and equality. The revolutionary socialist view on the state is that it should be overthrown and replaced with a workers' state that represents the interests of the majority and removes the existing power structures that uphold inequality and exploitation. The revolutionary socialist view on collectivism is that true social progress can only be achieved through the collective efforts of the working class to overthrow capitalist structures and build a society based on shared ownership and mutual support. The revolutionary socialist view on common humanity is that all people share a nature that drives them towards cooperation and solidarity, which is suppressed under capitalism but can flourish once the existing oppressive systems are removed. The revolutionary socialist view on equality is that real equality requires the complete overthrow of the capitalist system, which will remove inequality and establish a society where wealth and power are equally distributed among all individuals. The revolutionary socialist view on social class is that society is divided into classes, with the working class oppressed by the ruling capitalist class, and that class struggle must result in the overthrow of capitalist structures to achieve true social justice. The revolutionary socialist view on workers' control is that the workers must seize control of the economy and the state through revolutionary means, ensuring that production and government are managed by the people that work to run them. Social democracy seeks to humanize capitalism by implementing social and economic reforms such as welfare policies and regulation to promote social justice and reduce inequality in a market-based economy. The social democratic view on human nature is that individuals could flourish in a capitalist framework when there are social protections and opportunities for personal development. The social democratic view on the economy is that it should be regulated to prevent exploitation and inequality, while still allowing for private enterprise and market competition to drive growth and innovation. The social democratic view on society is that it should be inclusive and supportive, promoting social justice and reducing inequalities through welfare policies and public services. The social democratic view on the state is that it should play an active role in ensuring social welfare and economic fairness, using democracy to balance individual freedom with collective responsibility. The social democratic view on collectivism is that social progress can be achieved through a balance of individual rights and collective welfare, using democracy to promote shared goals and mutual support within capitalism. The social democratic view on common humanity is that all people have the ability to cooperate and be compassionate, which should be encouraged by social policies that promote equality and community. The social democratic view on equality is that it can be achieved in a capitalist system through progressive taxation, social welfare, and public services that ensure fair opportunities for all individuals. The social democratic view on social class is that class divisions can be removed through reforms and redistribution policies that reduce economic inequality and promote social mobility. The social democratic view on workers' control is that workers should have a voice in economic decisions through mechanisms such as collective bargaining, trade unions, and participation in the management of businesses without necessarily removing private ownership. Third-way socialism is a political approach that seeks a middle ground between traditional socialism and free market capitalism by advocating for a mixed economy that combines market efficiency with social welfare and government intervention to promote social justice. The third-way socialist view on human nature is that individuals seek both personal success and social justice, and their potential can be realized through a balance of self-reliance and community support. The third-way socialist view on the economy is that it should make use of the free market while being regulated to ensure social fairness, environmental sustainability, and protection for the most vulnerable. The third way socialist view on society is that it should embrace both individual freedom and social responsibility, creating a sense of community through inclusive policies and opportunities for all individuals. The third way socialist view on the state is that it should provide a framework for economic growth and innovation while ensuring social welfare and reducing inequalities through targeted interventions. The third way socialist view on collectivism is that social progress is best achieved through a combination of individual initiative and collective support where the state and private sector work together to promote shared goals and mutual responsibility. The third way socialist view on common humanity is that people are driven by both self-interest and a desire for social cohesion, which can be balanced through policies that encourage both personal success and community welfare. The third way socialist view on equality is that real equality can be pursued in a market framework by providing equal opportunities and addressing social inequalities through targeted social investments and welfare measures. The third way socialist view on social class is that class distinctions can be reduced by implementing reforms that promote social mobility, reduce poverty, and create a more inclusive society. The third way socialist view on workers' control is that workers should have a say in their workplaces through partnerships, employee participation schemes, and strong labor rights without removing the foundations of a market economy. There are 6 key thinkers for the socialist ideology. These are Karl Marx, Friedrich Engels, Beatrice Webb, Rosa Luxemburg, Anthony Crosland, and Anthony Giddens. Karl Marx and Friedrich Engels were socialist key thinkers with the key theories of the centrality of social class and humans as social beings. Marx and Engels' theory of the centrality of social class is the idea that historical materialism positions the class struggle as the fundamental force in society, resulting in the development of revolutionary class consciousness that leads to the working class overthrowing the capitalist system. Marx and Engels' theory of humans as social beings is the idea that human nature is shaped by social conditions and that true common humanity can only be fully realized under communism where class divisions and exploitation are abolished. Karl Marx and Friedrich Engels' view on human nature was that humans are inherently productive and cooperative, shaped by their social conditions and capable of realizing their true potential only in a classless society. Marx and Engels' view on the economy was that it is structured by the methods of production where a capitalist class exploits the working class and should be replaced by a system based on communal ownership and the equal distribution of resources. Marx and Engels' view on society was that it is divided into classes with conflicting interests where the ruling capitalist class oppresses the working class and that true social progress requires these class divisions to be removed. Marx and Engels' view on the state was that it allows for class oppression, maintaining the power of the bourgeoisie, and must be dismantled and replaced with a state that represents the working class majority. Marx and Engels' view on collectivism was that genuine social progress is achieved through collective ownership and control of the means of production, ensuring that resources are shared and used for the benefit of all individuals. Marx and Engels' view on common humanity was that humans are social beings whose nature is shaped by the material conditions of their society, and that true human potential can only be fully expressed under communism, where cooperation and solidarity are the guiding principles. Marx and Engels' view on equality was that true equality can only be achieved by overthrowing the capitalist system and creating a classless society where wealth and power are shared equally. Marx and Engels' view on social class was that the class struggle is the driving force of historical development, with the working class destined to overthrow the capitalist class and establish a society free from exploitation. Marx and Engels' view on workers' control was that workers should take control of the means of production and the state through revolutionary action, ensuring that both are democratically managed in the interest of the majority rather than a privileged few. Beatrice Webb was a socialist key thinker with the key theories of the inevitability of gradualness and the expansion of the state. Webb's theory of the inevitability of gradualness is the idea that socialism can be effectively achieved through a gradualist parliamentary strategy where social and economic reforms are implemented gradually to transform society without resorting to revolutionary change. Webb's theory of the expansion of the state is the idea that achieving socialism relies on the gradual expansion and strengthening of state functions and social policies, rather than the violent overthrow of the state, to achieve a more equal and organized society. Beatrice Webb's view on human nature was that humans are rational and social beings who can achieve their full potential through progressive social reforms and the development of a more organized and equal society. Webb's view on the economy was that it should be reformed through establishing a more efficient and humane system, implementing elements of both private enterprise and state intervention to address inequalities and ensure a fair distribution of resources. Webb's view on society was that it should evolve through gradual reforms, focusing on improving the living conditions and opportunities for the working class while maintaining social stability and cohesion. Webb's view on the state was that it should play an active role in regulating the economy, implementing social policies, and ensuring the welfare of all citizens, guided by expert knowledge and democracy. Webb's view on collectivism was that it should be implemented gradually using democracy, enhancing social welfare and cooperation without the immediate overthrowing the existing capitalist structures. Webb's view on common humanity was that the potential for human cooperation and solidarity can be realized through gradual reforms and social planning, which can help bridge the gap between different social classes. Webb's view on equality was that it can be progressively achieved through state intervention and social policies that aim to reduce inequalities and provide equal opportunities for all individuals. Webb's view on social class was that class divisions should be addressed through reforms that improve the social and economic conditions of the working class while acknowledging the need for a structured approach to achieving social justice. Webb's view on workers' control was that it should be introduced gradually through methods such as worker representation and collaboration with management, rather than through immediate or radical change, to ensure that workers have a voice in economic decisions while maintaining a stable economic system. Rosa Luxemburg was a socialist key thinker with the key theories of evolutionary socialism and revisionism and the struggle by the proletariat for reform and democracy. Luxemburg's theory of evolutionary socialism and revisionism is the achieving socialism through gradual reform, and revisionism is not practical because capitalism's economic relationship of exploitation requires a more radical revolutionary transformation to address its fundamental contradictions. Luxemburg's theory of the struggle by the proletariat for reform and democracy that these struggles leads to class consciousness among workers, which is essential for mobilizing them to overthrow the capitalist society and state. Rosa Luxemburg's view on human nature was that individuals are inherently driven by class struggle and collective action, and their true potential can be realized through revolutionary change rather than gradual reform. Luxemburg's view on the economy was that it is exploitative under capitalism and cannot be reformed through gradual measures but must be radically transformed through revolution to establish a system based on collective ownership and equal distribution. Luxemburg's view on society was that the working class is oppressed by the capitalist class, and real social progress requires the overthrow of these class divisions through revolutionary change. Luxemburg's view on the state was that it is an instrument of capitalist oppression, serving the interests of the bourgeoisie, and must be overthrown rather than reformed to achieve true socialism. Luxemburg's view on collectivism was that meaningful social progress requires capitalism to be overthrown and a system where resources are collectively managed to be established rather than relying on gradual reforms. Luxemburg's view on common humanity was that human potential and cooperation are prevented by capitalism and can only be fully realized through revolutionary change that removes exploitation and allows for solidarity. Luxemburg's view on equality was that true equality cannot be achieved through reforms alone, but requires a radical transformation of the capitalist system to abolish class distinctions and establish a just society. Luxemburg's view on social class was that class struggle is central to historical development and that the working class must lead a revolutionary movement to remove the capitalist class and establish a society free from exploitation. Luxemburg's view on workers' control was that it can only be effectively realized through revolution, ensuring that production and government are democratically managed by the working class rather than through gradual or reformist approaches. Anthony Crosland was a socialist key thinker with the key theories of the inherent contradiction in capitalism and state-managed capitalism. Anthony Crosland's theory of the inherent contradictions in capitalism is the idea that the internal conflicts of capitalism does not drive social change, and that managed capitalism can achieve social justice and equality without requiring a fundamental change of the system. Anthony Crosland's theory of state-managed capitalism advocates for a mixed economy where the state plays a key role in ensuring full employment and providing universal social benefits to remove the inequalities and inefficiencies of capitalism. Anthony Crosland's view on human nature was that individuals are pragmatic and capable of supporting gradual social reforms within a capitalist framework, believing that social progress can be achieved through state intervention rather than radical change. Crosland's view on the economy was that it should be managed through a mixed economy, where state intervention and regulation address the inequalities of capitalism, ensuring full employment and providing universal social benefits. Crosland's view on society was that it can be improved through reforms that remove class inequalities and promote social justice, without requiring the capitalist system being removed. Crossland's view on the state was that it should actively manage capitalism, ensuring stability and fairness through interventions such as public welfare and economic regulation to achieve social justice. Crossland's view on collectivism was that it is not necessarily about abolishing private ownership, but about managing capitalism through state intervention to balance economic inequalities and support collective welfare. Crossland's view on common humanity was that humans are capable of achieving social progress through pragmatic reforms in the existing capitalist system, recognizing the potential for cooperation and improvement without radical transformation. Crossland's view on equality was that it can be progressively achieved through state policies and reforms aimed at reducing inequalities in a managed capitalist framework rather than through revolutionary change. Crossland's view on social class was that class divisions can be addressed through state-managed reforms that promote social mobility and equality without fundamentally changing the capitalist system. Crossland's view on workers' control was that it is more practical to focus on state regulation and intervention to improve workers' conditions and rights, rather than pursuing direct control of production by workers. Anthony Giddens is a socialist key thinker with the key theories of the rejection of state intervention and the role of the state. Anthony Giddens' theory of rejection of state intervention accepts the free market economy, prioritizing equality of opportunity over equality of outcome, and emphasizing responsibility and community values over class conflict. Anthony Giddens' theory of the role of the state is that it should focus on social investment in infrastructure and education to enhance opportunities and societal well-being rather than engaging in direct economic and social change. Anthony Giddens' view on human nature is that individuals are adaptable and capable of thriving within a free market economy when given equal opportunities and supportive social structures. Giddens' view on the economy is that it should embrace the free market while ensuring that state interventions focus on social investment in infrastructure and education to provide opportunities rather than engaging in direct economic and social engineering. Giddens' view on society is that it should be organized to support personal responsibility and social cohesion, with a focus on promoting equality of opportunity rather than pursuing radical class-based changes. Giddens' view on the state is that it should play a role in investing in social infrastructure and education to improve societal well-being while avoiding excessive intervention in economic activities. Giddens' view on collectivism is that social progress is best achieved through a balance of free market dynamics and targeted state investment in key areas such as education and infrastructure, rather than through collective ownership of the means of production. Giddens' view on common humanity is that humans are inherently capable of cooperation and advancement when provided with equal opportunities and a supportive community framework rather than through class conflict. Giddens' view on equality is that it should focus on providing equal opportunities for all individuals rather than enforcing equality of outcome to enhance social mobility and personal responsibility. Giddens' view on social class is that class divisions can be addressed through policies that promote social investment and individual opportunities, rather than through systemic class struggle. Giddens' view on workers' control is that direct worker control of production is less practical than making use of state investment to create an environment where opportunities for all are enhanced while maintaining a free market system. Thank you for watching this video on socialism. I'll see you in the next lesson.